So we got a lot more badly wounded people coming home, right?
Yes, and you being a emergency medical technician would be very familiar with probably a lot of the strategies that they employ there. The quickness that we're able to get the people off the battlefield and into the what do they call them, the MASH units, the Mobile Army Surgical Hospitals, and then get them flown over to Germany for to get them stabilized and then shipped back home. And you're right, and the injuries are we're finding out a lot of people missing limbs, as you said, a lot of people with traumatic brain injury, a lot of people with post-traumatic stress disorder. So there's definitely a lot of injuries that are going to be lifelong for our veterans, and that's why it's imperative that we, as citizens in our communities, continuously support the Veterans Administration to make sure that our vets are getting the proper treatment, the proper care, not just now, but throughout their entire life.
Yeah. Speaking of proper treatment and care, heavy criticism toward the vets' hospitals down the road. What do you think's going on? Are they improving? Are they responding to the fact that the people are very unhappy with the service they're getting? Many people are. Now there are some that are doing fine. Walter Reed, I guess they cleaned it up. It's doing better. But what do you think on that one? What are you finding out from your sources? My
sources tell me, and you can talk to the Vietnam vets that came back. From the time that they came back in the 70s, 60s and 70s, what you'll find out is the VA hospital has made tremendous progress in the amount of the care that it gives. One of the great things that's going on in Chautauqua County right now that's through the VA is the fact that we've got two what we call community-based outpatient clinics, one in Jamestown and one in Dunkirk. These are clinics that are separate from the VA hospital. They have a primary doctor, and a lot of the treatment for our vets they're able to do right here locally in our own communities. Of course, this creates jobs for our local communities too, puts people to work. So the Veterans Administration is making significant changes. The new director, director of the VA is a retired four-star general, General Eric Shinseki, who used to be the Army Chief of Staff of the Army. He is a Vietnam veteran. He is a disabled American veteran his own self.
Do you know what his disability is?
I think he had, in Vietnam, I think he injured his foot. I think it was a landmine or some sort of explosion that caused...
So he's a real success story if somebody has come back.
Very much so. Very much so. And I would say with our new secretary, he's not a director, he's a secretary of the VA, he is definitely doing his best to make it a better place. If you go into our new veterans facility, our VA hospitals, they got modern equipment, they got people in there that care. I think that they're making significant gains. As with anything else, they always have room for improvement.
Very good. I saw a film recently on the vets, and I must say it makes you very grateful for the type of people that are over there. The hell they go through is unimaginable to somebody who hasn't lived in 100-degree temperatures with a full flak and heavy-duty uniform on and had to live this way. People that can't take showers every day, people that are basically, the worst thing is they're on nerve's edge. Every second they have to worry about a bullet flying out from nowhere or a bomb going off under them. This must be something we really should really be thankful for, that they stay there. Some even re-up on their own.
They do.
Yeah.
And one of the great things about living in Chautauqua County, to me, Reed, is the fact that this is such a veteran-friendly community. There is a high percentage of people who have always served in our local armed forces. And I think that as we sit here and we talk to the seniors that are out there listening right now, I guarantee you we're talking to a lot of veterans or a lot of people who know family members that served in the military, so they understand that. And I will say this, as you talked about the conditions that our troops are constantly exposed to, our prisoners have, their way of living would be considered, what, extremely
in the lap of luxury.
Yes, lap of luxury compared to the conditions that our military has constantly goes through.
We had a caller just call in and ask this question. What are you doing for education for our returning troops and for job search? Now these guys are all unemployed, and it's a tough employment picture now. What happens to them? What do they do?
Well, one of the things that, there's a couple different things that are going on. Education and getting people reintegrated back into the community are vital. And a lot of times our troops are coming back with very good skills that they learned in the military, because not everybody goes in as an infantryman. I mean, every job that we have in the civilian community can be found right within the military itself. But one of the things that we do here through my agency is basically we get them involved with looking at the GI Bill. Mm-hmm. And people who went in after 9/11 have what is called the post 9/11 GI Bill. This is a complete overhaul of the GI Bill. It's basically like it was in World War II when they first came out with it. This gives people the ability to go to school. It pays for their room and board. It pays for their books, and it gives them a living allowance that actually, based off of where they're going to school, based off of their zip code. The other thing is we work with local Chautauqua Works. We work with STEL. A lot of the different local facilities to try to get these vets placed into jobs right here in our community. Again, the biggest thing is if a veteran doesn't know where to come and look specifically, if they come down, they see myself or any of my service officers, we will actually point them in the right direction.
Get them going.
Get them involved, right. With,
no guarantees, but you can get them out there.
No guarantees. I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right?
I remember, well, speaking of the Veterans Funds for Education, I remember when I was, which enabled me to go to college, when I was 16 and graduated from high school, I received my father's benefits because he was killed as a result of his service in the war, and it went on to the children, the orphans, and I received $90 a month. Now that enabled me back in 1957 to live almost, that gave me my living expenses.
Right.
The tuition and the books, another game. And of course the books today are more than the tuition sometimes.
Crazy.
They got in thousands. We got a couple of calls. Let's take a call.
Sure, let's
Hey, good morning, caller. Thank you for waiting.
Hello.
Hello, you're on.
Who's the gentleman I'm talking to again?
His name is Troy Smith. He is in charge of the Veterans Affairs for Chautauqua County. He runs their office.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to tell him that I am very pleased with the help I get from the vets. I was in WW2, and I get my pills, and I get my visits to the vets here in Dunkirk, and I get cooperation from the vets in Buffalo as well. But the way they treat me in Chautauqua County here in Dunkirk, I very much appreciate. It has been a boon to me and to my family.
Well, we can thank Troy.
Would you tell the gentleman that?
He's right here. He wants to respond.
I'd love to respond. Sir, we appreciate you. And that's the biggest thing right there, is the fact that we have like I said before, we have an extremely veteran-friendly community, and our veterans are the most important thing that we have as far as my agency goes. And so, first of all, thank you for your service, and thank you for the kind words.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Where did you
keep up the good work?
Where did you serve, caller? May I ask?
Okay.
Where did you serve when you were in the Army? Guess he's gone.
I think you have.
Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
All right.
Send me a stamped envelope,
Right.
and I've got some nice gifts for you. Okay, yeah, that's a good comment. Somebody takes the trouble to call in and just tell you.
It's wonderful.
They're overjoyed with their service here in Dunkirk. Well, you must be kind of watching the shop, and you got a lot of esprit de corps over there.
One of the great things about my agency is I have a lot of great people that work there with us. And the primary, both my service officers are military. Matter of fact, the one service officer in Dunkirk is a retired E9, spent 24 years in the Air Force. My service officer that's in Jamestown spent 4 years in the Army. Down at Fort Bragg, he was a paratrooper.
There you go.
Yep. So
that's a tough course.
That's a tough course. So he's a 82nd Airborne paratrooper. And so being that we're all veterans, we take care we take care of our vets. The two girls that work down in my Jamestown office, Nancy and Carol,